Good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome back to the podcast. It's morning.
Yeah, it is. It's morning for us.
We usually say good morning no matter what time of day it is.
Yeah.
I say that in my videos too.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, good morning, even though it's like 3 p.m.
Well, that's like my mom got up from sleeping all day because she had a night shift, and she's like, it's like 6 p.m. She's like, good morning.
It's just good morning. I mean, it's morning all day.
Yeah.
There's no time limit for morning.
Yeah, it's always good morning. Well, welcome back to our podcast.
If you don't know who we are, I was about to say I'm Gig.
And I'm Erika. No.
We are the kids these days.
Yes.
Those dang kids.
Yeah.
That's what we should have called it.
Those dang kids. I wonder if at some point we'll become too old to be called the kids these days, and we'll have to rebrand. I mean, that might be kind of cool, like evolution.
Well, or we could just stop saying Erika and Gig, or Gig and Erika are kids these days, and we could start saying we're kids these days.
Yeah.
Or we could keep it as kids these days, and we could start complaining about the kids these days.
That's true. Yeah. You know, in my day, back in 2011.
That's not when we started this.
No, I mean, just like, you know, when we were kids. Like when we were
Earlier in
youngsters.
this year.
Earlier this year. Oh, man. Oh, it's going to be the 20s.
Wow.
I'm actually really excited.
You know, sometimes I freak out about it. I think, oh my God, we're so close to, like, the end of a decade. Because, like, we didn't really notice it before. At least I didn't. Like, because we were kind of young.
Yeah, like 2010 was exciting.
We would have been, like, 14. We had other, like, different, or I guess 13 at the turn of the decade. We would have been too young. Like, it was, like, high school, and at least for me, like, I didn't really even notice.
I think we didn't have enough life experience to be able to reflect on, like, that much time passing.
Well, and how do you go from the turn of the century to the turn of a decade? It's kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true.
Like, Y2K was such a huge thing.
Yeah. And I barely remember Y2K. I just remember, like, you know, the Simpsons and Family Guy, like, making episodes about Y2K.
I didn't even know what Y2K was until we started dating.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I remember you had to, like, explain it to me. I had no idea what it was. I'd never heard of it.
I just remember people, it being explained to me that, like, people were worried about
the world ending.
The world ending, but specifically, like, computers. Like, the reason why the world was going to end is because the computers weren't going to be able to understand that we're going from, like this format 199 something to 2000, right? It's a clock. It should be able to keep going.
I can't believe the world is only 2019 years old. Guys, that's a joke.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I ordered a Cybertruck. Let's just get it out of the way.
Let's get it out of the way. I encouraged you to do it, though.
Well, we watched the event. Let's start at the beginning. We watched the event, and I was so excited. For those of you who don't know, I've been waiting for Tesla to make a pickup truck, like, for years. Like, I've always wanted one. Even though I make fun of people in trucks. I'm like, oh, you small.
Pee-pee small?
Exactly.
I love that.
And I don't know why. I was like, I have this feeling that Tesla's just going to make this, like, amazing truck. And then, what's her name? Who made Truckla?
Oh, Simone Gertz?
Yeah. This woman made her own Tesla pickup truck out of a Model 3. And it was just, I was like, that's what I want, you know? Tesla has to make something like that. And I was so excited for this event. And you were too. Like, I was nervous too, though.
Well, and the thing is, I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't know when it was going to happen until, like, a day or two before. I mean, maybe that's how everyone felt. But I sort of thought, like, with Apple events, for example, you know a year in advance it's going to be in September, like the big ones, always in September. Mm-hmm. But with Tesla, they don't really have a like schedule or like a anniversary of that kind of thing. And people, they've been teasing the truck for a long time. And then the event happened.
We should have known. He said it was going to be Blade Runner-esque, and literally in Blade Runner, it says November 2019, and there's a truck that looks like the truck.
Really?
Yeah, people were tweeting that after the event.
I haven't watched.
They were like, we should have known.
I haven't watched Blade Runner in a long time, and I really want to rewatch it. So I'll have a completely different perspective now.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, the truck comes out, and I'm just kind of like, what the fuck?
I've watched like multiple tech reviewers' videos on it, and everyone thought it was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, haha, when are you going to bring out the real one?
That's what I thought too. I thought he was like, yeah, here's the Cybertruck, haha. And he was like, and then there's this, and then he brings out like the actual truck, you know? But
well, I didn't. I thought, oh, okay, like it's ugly, but I didn't think it was a joke.
I hated it. I had tears in my eyes. I was like, I've been waiting for years for a freaking Tesla pickup truck, and this is what we get. Like, I was so pissed off.
I think the reason why I didn't have as of extreme of a response as you, like that,
mm-hmm.
is because when I thought, for the last while, when I thought Tesla pickup truck, I couldn't picture a Tesla pickup truck, like a normal looking one, right? And because I read the Elon Musk biography, I kind of thought this makes sense. Like, on the design side of things, it was shocking because everything Tesla makes is very beautiful, right? They've got Franz Wolfenhausen or whatever his name is, and he is a great designer. Like, he makes beautiful cars.
Everything's curvy and beautiful, and this truck is just all angles.
Yeah, there's no curves on it at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's all straight lines. But then the more you think about it, it makes more sense to have something like that as a pickup truck, because if you're going to make something that looks like everything else...
Well, somebody explained this. I don't remember who. Maybe it was MKBHD. I don't know.
Yeah.
But somebody said, you're breaking into a market that has diehard, basically fanboys. These people who, like, say they're for Ford, and they'll buy an F-150 or whatever. They'll buy a Ford truck.
Mm-hmm.
And then 5 years later, they'll buy another Ford truck. And then 5 years later, they'll buy another Ford truck. And they will never not buy a Ford truck.
Yeah.
So why would you make something that looks like a Ford truck? None of those people are going to buy it. Because they're just going to keep buying Ford trucks.
Yeah.
So why not make something completely different?
Especially considering the people who usually do that, who are diehard truck fans, not just like one brand, but truck fans in general.
Yeah.
They're also the same kind of people who go, Tesla, electric cars, right? It's like, okay, you're just hating on it because you don't like change, and you can't admit the fact that, like, something might be wrong with this picture, you know?
Well, no,
like,
it's the same idea as, like, vegans, okay? It's fine to be vegan.
Yeah.
But don't go trying to convert people to veganism. It's the same thing with electric cars. It's fine to like electric cars. There's nothing wrong with it. But don't go to, like, people who drive big trucks and be like, you're, screwing up the environment and you're doing this and that. That's why people who drive big trucks like that are mad about electric cars.
No, that's not what I mean. I know people who drive trucks and they think electric cars are stupid. Like, I won't even be like, oh, I think trucks are stupid. Right? I don't think trucks are stupid. I think they serve a purpose. I mean, I grew up, my dad was in construction, and, like, I understand trucks, like, and I've always kind of wanted one. Like, when I was, like, 16, I really wanted a small pickup truck and a motorcycle. Like, those are the two least, like, I mean, motorcycles, like, yeah, they don't use a lot of gas, but, like, that's not very economical. So, I understand trucks, but being so hard on one side and being like, everything else is stupid, it's like not being open-minded to another person's opinion and just thinking that they're wrong because you don't want to consider yourself to not be right. Even though you're not wrong, but you don't want to consider yourself to not be right. That's how I see it, right? Because that's why I think it was smart to make something so bold and kind of ugly, like purposely making it kind of ugly. But the point is, you're making something different and futuristic looking because that's what your values are, right? Like Elon Musk was like, for years, has been saying, we need to look to the future, right? Like, many people have already said this about the Cybertruck. We need to look to the future. So if you're going to make something that's the same, like, yeah, it's electric, but Ford's planning on making a 100% electric F-150, right? And they just released a 100% electric SUV, weirdly branded Mustang. Doesn't make any sense. But it's also not the prettiest looking car.
It's not.
I mean, the thing is, if you actually put it side by side with a Model Y, they look very similar.
Well, the thing is, like, touching on the, building for the future and stuff, absolutely, you have to build something different if you want things to change. Yeah. Because if you keep building the same thing over and over, like Elon Musk showed this time lapse of trucks over the past 100 years, they all look the same.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And someone posted on Reddit too. It was like, I can't remember what the caption was, but it was something like, I can't remember what the gist of it was, but it was oops, I have hairs all over me. I shed like a dog. It was every single brand's truck, and they all look exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right. And there's a Cybertruck that looks nothing like them. So I don't remember where I was going with this. I had a point, but
I don't know if this is related, but something that I saw was, again, this is like a bit vague compared. It's not as specific as what the actual tweet was or whatever I saw. And it was like, if people had it the way they wanted it back in the day, they would have just gotten faster horses. But that wasn't possible, right? So they had to switch to cars. Nobody wanted cars in the beginning. They thought it was like crazy. So how is it such a big deal that somebody made a car that looks a little bit different, right? We're already getting used to electric cars. Like at least in the city that we live in, we see electric cars every day. Mm-hmm. Like if I go to work, I'm guaranteed to see a Tesla outside.
Oh yeah, I see a Tesla, at least one Tesla every single time I drive.
Yeah.
And Vancouver's not that big.
Yeah.
Like you go to LA, LA's 30 to 50 times bigger than Vancouver. And you see a Tesla every minute. It's crazy.
Yeah, and the thing is...
Oh, sorry, no, go ahead.
We live in a city with a huge wealth disparity, right? So there are people, it's like either people don't have Teslas or everyone has a Tesla, right? I didn't word that right. It's like you see, there's a lot of rich people here, is what I'm trying to say. So you see a lot of Teslas because people can afford it. Mm. But the thing is, with the truck, the pickup truck, they're giving you something that is a premium product, which is an electric car, because electric cars, no matter the brand, it's a premium product, because you have to pay the premium for the batteries and to have that kind of vehicle. But they're offering now a pickup truck at roughly the same price, an electric pickup truck at roughly the same price as a regular gas pickup truck. And gas pickup trucks are already expensive, and they don't have luxury features and stuff. You have to pay even more for that. Mm-hmm. So you already get that in most electric cars because that's kind of like the theme or the style. What were you going to say?
Oh, I just forgot. We were talking about the event, and then we kind of branched off and didn't finish what we were
let's go back
about.
To the event.
So for those of you who didn't watch, they were demonstrating how the truck is very durable.
Yeah.
And they hit a normal truck door. I keep saying car. When I say car, I mean truck, okay? They hit a door with a sledgehammer, and it obviously dented because that's a normal car door.
And then they hit it again just to prove their point.
And then they hit the Cybertruck, and nothing happened. It was totally fine, not even a scratch. Elon, dusted it off. He's like, nothing. And then they had these, glass panes, and they dropped a metal ball on one, and it shattered. And then they were like, here's the Cybertruck window, glass. And they dropped the metal ball on it, and it didn't break. And they did it from, multiple heights. And then Elon, Mr. Show-off that he is like, let's throw it at the car. And Franz is like, you sure, dude? And Elon's like, do it. Throw it as hard as you can. So he just kind of lightly throws it, and it just shatters the window. It was so cringy.
Well, the thing is, people are like, oh, again, mocking Tesla, because that's the theme, right? But at the same time, what they were planning on doing failed, but it didn't really, fail, in my opinion, right? for one, yeah, it didn't go through. Everyone's saying that. It didn't go through, right? Mm-hmm. Which is like, I wish they had shown what it would look like if they just had another truck, right? Not a Cybertruck.
Yeah.
And thrown the ball at that to see what happens, right? Because you want to see side by side, right? They're trying to be scientific about it, but at the same time...
That metal ball would have gone straight through.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been really interesting to see what would have happened. And live, too, right? The thing is, they had planned to do it live. They acted like it was a spur-of-the-moment thing.
And they tested it beforehand. They even have videos where they threw the ball at the window and it didn't break. It's because... I mean, apparently they said they've done tests, and it's because they hit the door with the sledgehammer a couple times first, and it weakened the window, and so when they threw it, it just shattered.
Yeah. That's the somebody else brought that forward, not Tesla.
Oh, I thought Tesla did.
No, somebody commented and said, well, what if this is what happened, right? And then Elon was like, yes, that's what happened. But the thing is, I don't think you can really use that explanation because... They also threw it at the back window, and they didn't hit the back door with the sledgehammer, right?
And the thing is, they only have one truck, and they've been throwing the metal balls at the windows, like, before the show.
Yeah.
Then they're going to be weakened anyways, right? Like,
yeah. But then I also wonder, because they were doing test drives right after the event with the truck, and if they only have one truck, if you notice in these videos, the people doing the test drives, the windows aren't broken. They replaced them really quickly. So I thought that was really interesting as well. Because if their excuse is that it was already weakened from being thrown out earlier and from the sledgehammer, right? Why didn't they just change the glass before they rolled it out?
Because they probably thought it was fine.
Yeah, that's true.
If it had never broken before, right?
Yeah. I, switching gears a little bit, I watched a video of this guy who's like an expert in marketing, and he thinks that the way the Tesla Cybertruck has been announced and everything about it is actually a masterstroke in marketing because it's different, right? And it's a promise, like we already talked about this, it's a promise of the future. And he brought up a whole bunch of really positive things, right? Because I feel like people take a new thing and they don't like it, right? Because they don't like change and they just crap on it, right? But the thing is, people's opinions change. It grows on people. And then, like, on the other end of the spectrum, I watched Doug DeMuro doing... He's, like, a famous YouTube car reviewer. He did, like, a little... his opinion on the car. And he hates it. He says he doesn't think it's going to grow on anybody. But the thing is, already so many people have ordered it, right?
Okay, the thing is, you don't have to like it.
Yeah.
Like, people can hate it. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. I hated it. And then 2 days later, I bought it. I reserved one.
Well, I look at it and I think, well, there's a lot they could tweak to it to keep this design, but make it look a little more pleasing to the eye.
The thing is, they've made one. They haven't showed what the interior looks like. They didn't say if it's going to have mirrors, side mirrors. Like, there's so many things missing from the truck. People are saying, I'm buying one, but I don't think it's going to be street legal in my country. But because Tesla hasn't announced anything about the truck. We don't know anything about it.
But that's usually the case. What I feel like people always forget is the first time they announce a car, it's not the final product.
Yeah.
Right? So it's going to have mirrors because to sell the car, at least even in North America where they make it, they're going to have mirrors. That's the law. So, like side mirrors. Right? And then the rear view mirror isn't even a real mirror. It's a camera.
It's a screen, yeah.
Yeah. So people think, oh man, everything about this sucks, right? They jump on the negative side without like even giving it a chance or
You're such a diehard Tesla fan.
No, it's not that I'm a diehard Tesla fan. Like I said, I'm not even a huge fan of the design of the car, but it's like you have to I mean, yeah, I'm a Tesla fan, right? But I'm not like all for one side or all for the other, right? I wish it was better looking. I wish it was a bit smaller. I think it's actually a bit too big because it's really wide and it's a bit longer than like even a full-size truck.
There was a mock-up where they just changed like the top of it so that it wasn't so pointy. It's so like pyramid-y, you know? It was just a little bit like less what's that called?
Angular?
It was like a wider angle instead of like more of like a point.
Yeah.
And it looked so much better.
Yeah.
It looked really nice. But then people were saying you can't have it like that because the the bed of the truck is basically hanging off of that top part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can't do words ever in any podcast or in life.
Yeah, you can. You were doing fine, and then you started thinking about it too much.
No, actually, the thing is, like, I'm just like that. I'm like that in real life. Like,
it just be like that.
No, seriously. Sorry guys, I almost hit the desk. I thought I wasn't going to this time, but I did.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're doing a lot of things different, like we said, because they want to be different.
Yeah.
So we have to get used to different.
Yeah, but we don't have to as well, right?
No, we don't have to. It might not work out, right? It might be it might be that. It might be a complete fail.
But, what, like 250,000 people have reserved it already?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that says something. It's not like the Model 3. The Model 3 had, like, what, 500,000 orders within a week or something?
Yeah.
It was crazy.
But then the other thing is, the downside of doing everything different is that these are not proven production processes, right? So they were already late with the Model 3, like a compact car that's supposed to be easy to make for the masses.
They were really late.
They were really late.
They were months late.
They're even still, like, I think they're still behind. Like, you still have to wait a couple months before you can even get one when you order one. So,
especially in Canada, their priority is the States.
Yeah.
So if you're anywhere else in the world, there are some countries that don't even have it yet, and they were supposed to have it, what, like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
It's wild.
And to think that the timing that they're thinking of releasing the Cybertruck is around the same as the Roadster, the new Roadster. So they're going to have two cars that they're going to have to be pumping out, two different models at the same time, around the same time.
When is the Semi supposed to come out?
The Semi's already out.
Oh, it's already
they're
out.
slowly making it,
Oh,
I think.
gotcha.
Yeah. Because, like,
I
think
one.
so. Yeah, I'd actually rather have, it's huge, but I'd
You can
rather
go 1,000
have...
miles on a charge.
Can it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I wonder how much it is in comparison.
And they guarantee you 1,000,000 miles. Like,
oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's another upside of electric cars, right? But it's just...
Okay, I just want to say something real quick. When we were looking to buy a car in 2015, we bought a punch buggy, but we looked at a Prius, and it had 800,000 kilometers on it.
Yeah. And they're still charging, like, over what you would expect for something like that.
Oh, yeah. It was like $4,000 or something.
Yeah. And it had been in an accident, too, I think.
So 800,000 kilometers is 500,000 miles.
Yeah.
For you Americans.
So that's pretty crazy to think that that's where we're going with our vehicles. Like, something so reliable that it needs very little maintenance and can go forever, right? And I mean, the thing is, yeah, there's the downside of charge time. But again, that they're making progress on that. Like, now you can get 80% of your charge for most, like, models in, like, 30 minutes, right?
I just want to talk about why I got it. I reserved it.
Yeah.
It started to grow on me a little bit. And then Gig and I had, like, a little chat. And, like, it's only $100 to reserve your truck, which is crazy because usually it's $1,000. So that's, like, wild. But I think they really want people to reserve them. Like, they're basically, like, handing them out, like, please. Please reserve one.
Well, and I honestly feel like, sorry, just want to take a moment.
I know.
Yeah. I honestly feel like it's, from what I've read, and, like, I am an Elon fanboy, right? And there's some things that he does that I don't like, but the core value of Tesla is to work on making these cars available to anyone who can buy a car.
Yeah.
Right? So, if you're a person who wants to buy a truck, right, and you have the option of buying a conventional internal combustion engine truck, or you can be like, hey, I like electric cars, but I need a truck, right? And it's roughly the same price in total, but to get in line, it's only $100, and it's refundable. That's convincing, right? That's more accessible to the masses.
That's the main reason why I reserved one, is because it's refundable.
Yeah.
Like, it comes out in 2 years. And that's like the conservative time. Like, it'll probably be longer than that, especially in Canada. So, like, we figured out that we have 2 years at least to save up $39,000. That's what the truck starts at, and that's American.
Yeah.
But that's, like, what we would like to save up Oh, God, that hurts to think about right now.
Yeah.
Because we don't have any money. We just bought a new car like a month ago. Going from a Honda Fit to the Cybertruck is going to be wild. But anyways, we're going to keep our names down for it until then. And if we don't have the money or if we change our minds, the thing is, if we change our minds tomorrow, we're not going to cancel it. We're going to wait until when it comes out or when we're asked to redeem our reserve spot, right? And then we're going to decide if we actually want to get it or if we don't. We have a long time to decide that. And we've also talked about how why would we buy a truck? First of all, it wouldn't fit in our parquet. Not that we want to be living here in 2 years, but, we hopefully want to be, somewhere else.
Yeah.
Have our own place. But getting back to the whole thing.
Take a deep breath. You're
no,
okay.
I'm sweating. I'm in this big wool sweater. We have decided that at that time, if we have saved enough money, we'll decide whether or not we want to get the truck or we want to get a Model 3. Because a Model 3 would be way more practical for us. And it's cheaper. It starts $4,000 cheaper than the truck.
Yeah. But the truck's so much cooler. That's the thing.
The light's gonna turn off.
Okay. I wanna just say something quickly about the truck and the down payment.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm just turning the light back on. There we go. So I was already thinking this, and then I was watching the Unbox Therapy, Lou, his podcast, and he was talking about how, it's only $100, right? $100, you can get in line for $100, and you can feel like you're buying this truck, right? That's pretty good value, in my opinion, because you feel like you're getting this truck for, 2 years? And what, you go out for one night with friends and have some drinks, and you could spend way more than $100, right? Mm-hmm. To me, that's way better value for entertainment. Even just that feeling of oh, I'm in the group. I'm in. I'm a future Tesla owner, right?
Sorry, pardon me.
I like you aimed your burp at the microphone.
No, I was trying to go down so that it would, but I guess it kind of went to the mic. I'm sorry.
For
burp ASMR.
Yeah. For how many years before I met you?
Or before we started dating, what do you mean?
Before we started dating, I don't even know if we had met yet. Probably. So for probably about 8 years, I have owned a Tesla shirt and a Tesla jacket. The jacket was $109 because at the time the Model S was just starting to, they had announced it and it was just starting to come out. And actually, I think they were just teasing about announcing the Model X.
My video came out and I forgot to post about it.
Oh, you can do that after.
No, yeah, I'll do it after,
okay.
Sorry.
And the reason why the jack was $109 was because their main vehicle at the time was the first Roadster. And that started $109,000, right? So they kind of were oh, you have a jack that's $109? Well, you have a car that's $109,000. So, I have this jacket, and I love the jacket, right? It makes me feel so good, but I never wear it because I don't own a Tesla. Yeah. It makes me think of Joey in that episode of Friends when he finds the Porsche.
I mean the Porsche.
And he's like, I have a Porsche.
I always think of the, there's, boys that I went to high school with, and they would always wear Ferrari stuff. That's why I said Ferrari, because it was you're 15, you don't own a Ferrari, but they dress head to toe in, Ferrari stuff. It was just oh my god. It was really cringy. I found this post on Reddit last night, so I saved it. It's 10 years of Tesla. So, okay, come on. So the Cybertruck versus the 2012 Model S, because the Cybertruck comes out in 2022. Mm-hmm. So it's a 10-year difference. Math. So, the Model S performance, that was the highest one at the time, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the highest tier? Highest, what's it called?
It doesn't really matter. The highest trim, the highest option.
Yeah, the most expensive option for the Model S from 2012, and the most expensive Cybertruck option, because there's 3 of them. So the Model S started at $92,400, And the Cybertruck starts at $69,900. So that's 24% cheaper.
That's pretty big. Like,
that's a huge difference.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk has been able to make electric cars way more affordable. Like we saw that with the Model 3. Like that $35,000.
Well, and just look at what they've been able to do with their factories. Like they've been able to open these massive factories just to build and produce these batteries for the cars, and they sell them to other companies too.
Like you can get a truck for $39,900, right? Like, like I mean, this is the most expensive one, the $69,000 one. But anyways, the Model S would go 0 to 60 in 4.4 seconds. The Cybertruck, less than 2.9.
Wait, what was the Model S?
4.4.
And that was the fastest one at the time.
So that's 34% faster.
Wow.
That's a big difference. That's a truck versus I was going to say SUV versus a sedan.
Yeah. I mean,
huge.
The thing is, the other cool thing is you buy a car from Tesla and you're basically guaranteed to have a car that is relevant for a certain amount of time in the future, right? Because it's like a piece of electronic hardware. It gets updated, right? So even the 2012 Model S probably eventually got better numbers, right? But that's going to be the same for the truck too, right? Like you could buy a truck that it's kind of weird looking and it's maybe kind of a niche thing, right? But you have a truck that can drive as fast as like a supercar from like the early 2000s. Yeah. Like that's really impressive.
The most expensive Model S had a 265-mile range. The most expensive Cybertruck has an over 500-mile range.
And I always find it really impressive when they announce those numbers because I'm like, wow, that's in miles. Yeah. Like, because then I multiply it by 1.6 and I'm like,
holy shit.
Oh, yeah.
So that's 89% more range.
Wow.
120 kilowatt supercharging was the Model S. 250 kilowatts supercharging.
Yeah.
At least. So that's 108% higher charging rate.
Yeah. I mean, that's the other cool thing is you have somebody running this company that is that knows a lot about science and is a believer in science, right? Thinks that's the way you find answers. So he uses engineering and science to improve things. So like the limit for charging is how much energy the batteries can handle, right? So they engineer them better, right? And then how much energy you can flow in, right? The system can only handle so much, so you engineer that better, and then there you go. You're already improving it so much. I love science, right? I'm a science guy. I'm not Derby, falling asleep in science class.
So I just want to say, when the Model S came out, it was considered to have a lot of storage space because they had the trunk and then they had the frunk, which is the front trunk because there's no engine, right? Yeah. So you had two trunks, and that was like crazy, like mind-blowing to people. Yeah. The truck has 280% more storage space.
Whoa.
Like the Model S had 26 feet cubed. Is that what it is?
Yeah, 26.
It's not square feet. It's
26 feet cubed, so 26 cubic feet.
Cubic feet. The truck has 100 cubic feet of storage.
Wow.
Because it probably has a frunk as well, right? Or does it not?
I don't know. I didn't think about that. That's a good question. Because the design of the truck is a little bit different. Because usually you have the frame inside, right? So they've designed it a little bit different. We're having the actual like skin of the truck is a lot stronger, so they don't have to have as much of a frame. Yeah, as far as I understand.
It's almost like an exoskeleton.
Yeah, that's what they call it. They call it an exoskeleton. I think so. Yeah, a steel exoskeleton. So. Again, that's doing something a bit different, right? Yeah. It may or may not work, but it's exciting to see what we can learn from it.
You just know the Paul brothers. The Paul
brothers. They're all just Logan Paul, both of them.
The Paul brothers are going to buy this truck.
Yeah, probably.
They're going to make a matte black option, and I think if we do get one, that's what I want.
Yeah. People were complaining. They're like, it's only available in color. And then Elon Musk's like, no, it's not. But then the thing is, it's like, you do realize you're spending you're spending a little bit more. It's not like you're buying a really cheap car. You're spending a little bit more for a car. Most people who do that, I mean, at least in our city, we notice a lot of people who buy more expensive cars, they get them wrapped.
Yeah.
Right? So you can get, for less than painting, you can get any color or any design you want. Like, we've seen iridescent, we've seen, like Louis Vuitton themed camo, right? All different
Arctic camo. BMW.
Yeah.
I used to see that everywhere.
Yeah. I think I've seen an Arctic camo BMW and an Arctic camo Mercedes-Benz, too.
Oh, wow.
And then I've seen, like, a teal blue... I don't know if this was wrapped, but a teal blue Lamborghini.
Nice.
Yeah.
I just want to say that the truck can sit 6 people. That's wild. It also has all-wheel drive, whereas the Model S had rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, the first one. It took them a while to introduce the dual-motor one. And the thing is, the Model S only comes in single-motor or dual-motor, which means a motor in the front or a motor in the front and the back, right? Whereas the truck is now going to have a motor. You can have a single motor option, a dual motor option, or a triple motor option. So
I also just want to say that the Model S didn't have any autopilot capabilities, and now the truck comes with full self-driving capabilities.
I don't know how they're going to do that, because one of the things about the Model S that makes it able to do the self-driving is, yes, cameras, right? But they're able to put the cameras within, like, the pillars of the doors where the glass goes over. And then also, like, infrared and radar sensors that go through the body of the car.
Yeah.
Because it's made out of light, like aluminum,
which
for the Model S.
Which you wouldn't be able to do with the truck.
So I don't know how they're going to do it with the steel.
Whatever.
Yeah. It's a good question. All right, well, we talked a lot about that truck. Do you want to wrap it up?
I just want to quickly say that we went to the UBCP Awards last weekend, which is like our union's awards. And I have a little vlog up on my channel if you guys want to watch it.
It's really good. Go check it out.
And also, I just posted a video today. Today's Friday for us.
Yeah.
I can't keep track. I just posted a video where Gig chooses my outfits for a week. From Shein, which was really fun and very interesting. So if you guys want to watch that, that's also on my channel. Both of our YouTube channels and all our social media links in general are listed in the description, as well as our featured charity, which today is Vancouver Rape Relief and Women's Shelter. They are basically what they sound like. They are women's shelter. They have peer counseling, advocacy with police, accompaniment to sexual assault exams, legal advice, and they also have like female-only support groups. They do a lot for the Vancouver community. We have a lot of homeless people in Vancouver, so having women's shelters, it's a lot safer for women because, if you have unisex shelters, there's a lot of sexual assault and violence. If you want to support the Rape Relief Shelter, then you can go to rapereliefshelter.bc.ca. You can donate money, or you can also donate a car. I don't know what that means.
Weird.
But that's kind of cool.
I also recommend, guys, if you ever see us promoting a charity that you like the values of, but it's not local to you and you'd rather support a local one, just look up the same thing for your local area. We're not saying if you decide to donate to this kind of thing, you have to donate to the one in our local area.
I just know there's a lot of people who know us personally who watch this, and if you guys, I'm going to put pressure on you. If you guys want to donate, then donate.
Yeah, if you're going to donate something, donate to that, please.
You don't have to give me a Christmas present, just donate.
Yeah, donate in our name.
Yeah.
Or even in your own name.
And also send us a screenshot of, if you guys donate to stuff, then send us a screenshot or let us know, via our email, or just comment on the podcast, and we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah.
We had somebody donate to, is it Kids Up Front? Which is one of my favorite charities. It's just so cool. But anyways, and we really appreciate that. So thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah.
And thank you for watching our podcast.
Yeah.
We really appreciate it. I know we don't get a lot of views, but we love you guys. We love our community, and
we've been growing.
Yeah.
We've been growing a little bit, and we have a lot of fun making these podcasts. So we really appreciate you guys just hanging out with us and listening or watching, and commenting when you do. And I know there's some of you who try to comment on every podcast and listen to every single one. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah.
We try to start a little bit of a discussion or a reply to your comments. So we really appreciate it. Yeah. Well, maybe we'll end it on there, on that note. Thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and we'll see you next time.
Don't buy a Cybertruck. No, do buy a Cybertruck.
Make responsible decisions.
Exactly.
Okay.
Money.
Bye.
Bye.